Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we have Micky, the founder of WorldMobile, a project that many of you have been asking me to cover. And we're going to be talking all about the project, what the vision is, why Cardano, all that good stuff. So Micky, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for having me. What a joy.
Yeah, no worries. This has been a long time coming. I'm glad schedules aligned here. So I think the very first question, really just getting down to brass tacks for folks that are watching, what is the vision for WorldMobile? Like if you had to give the elevator pitch, what's your project trying to accomplish?
Okay, so there's a massive problem. There's 3.5 billion people approximately unconnected. From this 3.5 billion people, there's no mobile network operator to serve them. So our mission is to provide connectivity to everyone everywhere. And we're doing that. And that's WorldMobile's thing.
Amazing. So really giving an opportunity for folks that aren't traditionally disconnected in environments and therefore those who lack opportunity in a lot of the modern technological areas that we have today and take for granted in the West, particularly, giving them that chance to really enter the 21st century.
So almost totally excluded, right?
Yeah.
No identity, no way to bank their money that they've currently got, only using very innovative methods or keeping it in cash. No way to check basic healthcare, medical things. No way to enroll into schools. There's over 1 billion children around the world that can't enroll into schools because they don't have internet. The systems are there in place. The Africa is the continent has been transformed in terms of connectivity. The adoption is huge, but there's still sub-Saharan Africa. There's over 1 billion people, and there's 800 million people without any internet at all. So they're completely excluded. And it's not just a problem for them, it's also a problem for us. If every 1 in 2 people can't speak to each other, what world are we living in? It might sound philosophical, but it's not. It's factual. If we can all speak and we can all work with the same assets and tools and we can all contribute and collaborate, it is going to be a much better planet for everybody, financially and as a unit.
So really taking that vision of, blockchain and to an extent cryptocurrency, and really creating a borderless connected world amongst a shared rail that people can all sort of interact with each other in a peer-to-peer fashion.
Yeah, regulated though. So that's how you're going to win, right? Mm-hmm. Because this is how you're going to actually get mass adoption. There's many projects out there right now that they have the dream, and they'll go and they're trying to complete something or to get mass adoption. But actually in reality, even if they did bring on hundreds of thousands of users, it would get the attentions of the authorities. And when you're talking about stuff like telecommunications, you've got to be regulated. So we've taken the best of both worlds, the ethos, the transparency, the immutability of the blockchain, and all the benefits that it has for micro actions on a telecom network. Mm-hmm. And we've also taken the best of the regulators, people who've formed the policies and wrote the frameworks in order to make sure that we are there. We're here for mass inclusion. We're here to bring on tons of people. Facebook, Microsoft, Google, others, they've built the technology already, or they've trialed the technology and they've picked up off the shelf equipment in order to be able to reach these unconnected areas. What they haven't done is found a successful business model. Right. So this is what we're doing.
Amazing. So, and that was what I was going to ask you, right? Without going obviously into too much technical depth and without, maybe diving too crazily into the standards even underneath it, this is a huge undertaking, right? Because there's the core telecommunications part of this, right? Connectivity between devices and two networks, but then there's also the underlying blockchain component, which I assume is based, sort of the core economic layer, some of the core data transfer layers. You chose Cardano as one of the main platforms there. Can you walk me through that decision process and where the Cardano blockchain is going to fit into the mix?
Sure. So it's the final settlement layer. I'm not I'm not a tech guy. You'll have to speak to Antonio or Alan or Josh regarding this, but I can certainly walk you through it. So you chose Cardano. Who else? There was nobody else to choose from. These guys were the best guys and girls. I went up to Scotland to see a Plutus Fest a couple of 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I met with Charles and Agalos and a few others. And I said, look, you want to bank the unbanked. I know how to connect the unconnected. I've got this idea for a sharing economy. What do you think? And they were straight on it, right? But whilst I was there, I saw the faculty, I saw what they were sponsoring, I saw Charles's way, I saw the people. It felt like something very special was happening. And then the more I researched and I saw the papers. I'm like, hold on, this isn't just a kid. This is a guy who's taking it very seriously. He's planning a financial system that's going to serve, trillions of dollars if it's in the right hands. He's going after the right markets, working from the bottom up rather from the top down in saturated markets. I'd love to work with these guys. So John O'Connor came over to Tanzania. He met with Andy and RJ, also co-founders, and the rest was history. And we spent the last 2.5 years hypothesizing, building, working on a sharing economy. And now we're at the end of this year, we'll release a mainnet and we'll connect people together in Zanzibar, an IOHK collaboration with WorldMobile. We're partners. And this is going to be incredible. And it's going to be incredible for the Cardano ecosystem, but also incredible for WorldMobile to benefit from the science that's gone behind this. Smart contracts are just about to come out. This is an exciting moment. And the first time that I'd heard of Cardano and started to read about Cardano, I knew that they were serious. So again, who else? Look around. There's nobody really. Binance, with all the respect, there's a few validator nodes. It's not really a decentralized network. Ethereum, super cool, innovation, but way too expensive and nothing proven yet, and no real formal communication methods or working methods. Algorand, amazing, Cosmos, amazing. But again, nowhere near as advanced as Cardano. So there's no mistakes to be made here. WorldMobile's on a hell bent to connect people before 2030. The World Bank, the United Nations, they've set those goals forward, and we can't have anything slowing us down. Initially, I started to make our own blockchain. And then I was like, hold on, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. If I reinvent the wheel so many times, it's going to cost me and whoever else is investing into me money that is, might end up in building a product that works. But why should we do that? Shouldn't we go and team up with the best people? And we've done that the whole way through. And for our blockchain element, for our digital ID elements, it was only IOHK and Cardano.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think the ethos, right, of what Cardano, like sort of the core foundation there, in IOHK, IOG, et cetera, the goal has been, like you said, that bottom up approach to go in places where there isn't infrastructure and create that connectivity, create that opportunity for folks that haven't had it. But, what I think is also interesting is what you said about creating your own blockchain. I think a lot of big projects with the big vision like WorldMobile go that route first. And you're totally right in the sense that as you reinvent the wheel, it takes several tries. These protocols are not easy to build. And a lot of people who say, oh, well, Cardano's taken so long to develop. If you really look at what Charles Hoskinson said, even if you follow the code, you'll see that the core of this protocol has been rewritten several times because assumptions that you make one year are disproven the next when you do this in a formally verified way. And that ultimately takes time. So now it's like you've been able to build the business model, the telecommunications part, and do that asynchronously with the creation of a protocol like Cardano that can serve a major settlement function. So I think that's amazing to hear that story, and I think that others that are wanting to create projects should also think about that. If you develop the model, there's likely a protocol out there that really fits the mold for you.
And if the same is applied to our hardware. We're hardware agnostic. Initially, I was making designs and models and mock-ups of, making my own components, pushing them together, getting our own production line. And then I woke up in a heavy sweat one night and said, this is probably the world's biggest opportunity right now. And you're thinking to make your own hardware. What are you doing? Cisco, Motorola, Ubiquiti, all these incredible companies that have innovated and have spent billions, tens of billions, maybe even more on research and development of the best Wi-Fi infrastructure. And what are you going to do? So you're not going to go and reinvent the wheel. So I had to go to the team and say to the team, right, we're never going to build our own hardware. Why are you never going to build your own hardware, Mick? Because why should we? This is a huge problem. We're going to use what we've got in order to be able to accelerate. And the same is applied all the way through. I'm very grateful for what Facebook and Microsoft and Google. We speak to the Microsoft Airband team. The Google Loon project was shut down, but we know many people that were working on that project. The Facebook, they're picking up pipes and putting up 300-meter towers, huge things. We're watching what they're doing, and whilst we're watching, they've been very open and transparent about it. And we're picking up on those things, and we're picking up ex-engineers, and we're building our team, and that's what we've been doing for the last 2 to 3 years. And it's all about not reinventing the wheel, right? It's all about going and making the right diligence, the right choices, making the right partners. It's a collaborative effort that's going to fix this. There's 3.5 billion people unconnected. There's 3 billion people unbanked. They all need digital identities. They all need power. We can't do it all. Google, they're $1 trillion company. Right? Microsoft's close to that as well. And I don't know what their market cap is, but they've been trying for a long time, and they can't do it alone. So it's not only money, right? It's a collaboration. So that's the way we went into this, knowing that we should collaborate, we should work with the best minds, and there's plenty enough cake, there's plenty enough of a pie for everybody to benefit, right? There's the 1,000 mobile network operators operate for you and me and the rest of the world that can watch this video, without having to sacrifice too much. There's none. There are zero for the unconnected world. So even if 100 players come in after us, the big guys, whatever, there's still plenty of room, right? So, but the truth is we've got an edge, a huge edge, and Cardano, the foundation, but especially Charles and John and Dainal, they've got the biggest edge because they recognize the potential of unlocking Africa and giving Africa self-data governance and giving Africa economic freedom of choice and just cashing in on the transactions that happens, right? And, in a very fair way. And so, yeah, that's where the edge is. Now, the existing mobile network operators and existing big tech companies, Jack Dorsey, lovely guy, right? He's talking about a lot. He could do a lot, right? But they're not thinking like this. They're not thinking about at the core. What do you need? You need connectivity, right? You need to bring people cheap connectivity. So we are, and we have, and we couldn't be if this wasn't a collaborative effort. So you're totally right. You've got to work together. You've got to not reinvent the wheel. You've got to make sure that you use what's out there. And likeliness is in this modern day. There's something out there that you can use.
No doubt. And I would assert that some of the most of the most significant inventions and business models to an extent are composed of largely existing elements that are synergized and optimized to do a job as one machine. And I say machine loosely, not physical machines always, but processes or what have you. Even blockchain, right? A lot of the underpinnings of the first examples of a blockchain are really just derivative of existing mathematical models and technologies that already existed decades before. And so it's really cool to see projects like WorldMobile that are taking existing technologies, existing models, synergizing those together and really trying to move the needle on a huge issue that I think is ignored all too often.
Thank you, man. I'm very thankful for the partners and collaborators that are enabling us to actually move ahead so fast as we're going.
Yeah. And for people who are, watching this, right, you're probably watching this because you're interested in Cardano, which is great, interested in blockchain and cryptocurrency, maybe even, connectivity in general, which is also great. I think if you're into cryptocurrency, one of the things that WorldMobile, appeals to me from a cryptocurrency perspective, I've been in the space a long time, is it is a very positively focused project. This is a direct answer to often, the critiques that cryptocurrency is solely used for nefarious activity, or the application of blockchain technology has no real use case other than nefarious activity. And I think being able to focus on projects like this that really do provide a positive benefit to people who need it is helpful writ large across the whole industry, right? Regardless of whether or not you're a huge Cardano fan or interested in the idea in and of itself, the conceptually at a high level, positive impact from cryptocurrency is a benefit and from blockchain is a benefit. What I was going to say is so from here, if the rest of 2021, let's say 2022, obviously you've got a grand vision. You mentioned mainnet later this year, obviously dependent on some of the things in the Cardano world, smart contracts and that sort of thing. I'm sure in some cases. What's the plan for the rest of this year and then into early 2022? What could folks expect from WorldMobile there?
Okay, so parallel streams. So laying down infrastructure. This is happening right now as we speak. There's infrastructure landing on the ground from air and from sea. Different providers. Altai equipment right now is coming inbound. We've got the team on the ground in Zanzibar and Dar es Salaam, and the first rollout, the first 25 sites are happening. But really, what you can expect is to see the development of a new type of mobile network. So Zanzibar is an incredible place for us. It's an island. Pemba represents very unconnected people. The center represents a high load in Stone Town of tourism. And then, of course, we've got the coastal coastal areas. So working there is a dream for us. So what we're doing is we're taking everything that we've learned from the feasibility studies and proof of concepts, and now we're piecing it together to create a mobile network that's going to cover the entire island. But it's going to cover the entire island and deliver connectivity for a fraction of the price of what there is right now. More than half price, and in most cases, much faster than there is now. So what you're going to be witnessing is the development of a new standard, of a new style of mobile network that no one's ever seen before. And then once we get it right on the islands, we'll then move into mainland. On mainland, there's approximately 18 million people, 20 million people unconnected. So if we manage to create the same infrastructure and lay down the same pipe and be able to have this dynamic, agile network that nobody else has got right now, and we can connect millions of people in my team are going to kill me, by the way, for saying this, but we're connecting millions of people in 2022, then the whole world is going to look at this and they're going to say, this is a new model. This is a new economic model for the distribution of infrastructure and a new style of dynamic network. So that's what's in store for the next year and a half, a really incredible time. We've made sure to bring back, we've got a fantastic communications team and a fantastic director and production. So we're going to be showing what we're doing. We're working with in Kenya with a really famous name, a big name in the industry, to deliver like a hybrid network, something beautiful there as well. And we've got other places on the cards. Pakistan has come up recently. We've been working there for the last 3 years. That's something we'll be looking towards moving into. But the major focus is rolling up this big network on the ground in Zanzibar for covering a total of 1 million people. And we hope to get hundreds of thousands of people onto the network real quick, and then moving into Tanzania. And this is going to be with digital identities. This is going to be with a commercial rollout. This is going to be, the Tanzanian government, you've seen recently in the news, they're very favorable and talking about exploring blockchain with the central bank, and it's talking about Bitcoin even. So it's a moment. It's a moment where we've timed it perfectly, and WorldMobile is a network that you're going to see, and everybody else is going to see being built on the grounds, and it's super exciting. So that's 2021. The rest of them in 2022, and this is not something that will go underground and we'll raise $40 million and off we go, and we'll come up with a piece of mainnet that's just a staking system. And no, this is something that's going to deploy infrastructure on the ground right now. This is something that's going to be felt right now. This is something that's going to bring hundreds of thousands of users into the Cardano ecosystem and the WorldMobile ecosystem. And again, it's not a tagline, but we're going to go and connect the unconnected, and Cardano are going to bank the unbanked.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, obviously, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. I'll be following very closely, as I have been, to date, and hopefully we'll see that influx of users across your product as you launch. And I'm really grateful that you took the time to come and explain this to me and to folks that are watching my channel. Hopefully, for those watching, this created new questions that you might want to ask. And so if you leave them down below, I'll try and get you answers to those questions. And please do dig more deeply into WorldMobile. I'll leave some links in the description below. But Micky, thanks so much for being here, my man. Is there anything else that you wanted to give to the audience in parting words?
I watch your show all the time, so I'm really excited to be on here. Thank you very much for having me. Come join us in our Telegram. Come join this. This is an effort that can be solved together. You don't have to be part of the economy to be part of what we're doing. We want to show you what we're doing. It's really important that every other person can speak to every other person. So any support you can give, we're here to take you on and become part of our community. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks everyone for taking the time. Have a fantastic week and weekend ahead. And until next time, cheers.